Keep not thou silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites, of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, Asser also is joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot. Selah. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. And I saw one of his heads, as it were, wounded to death.
They create chaos, and they create control.
Over the world headquarters in Switzerland of the World Masonic Headquarters for World Freemasonry, over the door is Ordo ab Chao, which is Latin for order out of chaos. And all Freemasons know that term, Ordo ab Chao. Order out of chaos. The concept is to create chaos, to create the problems. Then while the people are frightened to death of all the crime and everything that seems to be out of control, a riotous situation, the government then moves in with justification. In order to put down this terrible chaos, they must have full power of the military, full obedience of the people, to give the government full power to do whatever they want. That's why we're having all over the world wars, riots, bloodshed, famines, all kinds of things happening around the world. It's being manipulated. It's being orchestrated, not just for Los Angeles.
It's conflict control.
Conflict control.
There's been more wars since the creation of the United Nations. Since the creation of the United Nations. Since the creation of the United Nations. Since the creation of the United Nations.
قصف جديد يا شباب، قصف خذونا بسرعة 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 بسرعة.
إذا استهدافنا من نهاية الأركان بشكل كامل.
قصف ثاني. دمروه.
So 2 major strikes in a matter of hours. It is a dramatic escalation in a region that's already gripped by multiple conflicts and flashpoints. Reports say the strike on Syrian military headquarters was severe. The pictures are quite dramatic. The strike collapsed 4 floors and ruined the building's facade. Reporters on the ground in Damascus captured these strikes live on their cameras. They heard Israeli warplanes circling the skies, and their cameras caught the moment the planes hit.
The streets of Spain have devolved into chaos. Yes, the middle of summer should be heaven in Spain, but not this year. Locals are being terrorised by migrant gangs with reports of random acts of violence towards innocent local members of the community. The chaos started when an elderly local Spanish man was brutally beaten out of nowhere in Torre Pachato by a North African gang. This show of thuggery sparked outrage in the community, leading to a weekend of wild clashes between locals and migrant groups. This Spanish commentator was outraged by the scene, saying, "This is happening in Murcia, Spain. Hundreds of armed migrants are attacking Spaniards just for being Spaniards. How are they not deported by now?" And it didn't stop there. This commentator is blasting the media for their lack of coverage on the issue, saying, "Chaos in Spain. Reports of gangs of foreigners have been attacking people on the streets. Spanish people have gathered on the streets to stop the attacks. Why isn't this on the news?" The clashes also have a religious undertone, with many blaming the Muslim background of the immigrants for the chaos. This commentator shared footage of a religious march in the streets of Barcelona. He said, "Military-aged Muslim men take over streets in Spain to show the citizens they are taking control. It is intimidation designed to silence dissent." But these locals had enough and began chanting in defense of Christianity, saying Spain is Christian, not Muslim. And again on the streets with larger protest groups gathering to reclaim their country. And all of this chaos is leading some commentators and locals alike to question the need for so much migration.
So you now have ethnic conflict within Spain because of immigration. Immigrants came in, attacked an old man for no reason, Spaniards retaliated, and now the migrants are ganging up to attack Spaniards. And this is supposed to be good for the country. House prices increase, quality of life goes down, wages stay low, social capital goes down, there's ethnic conflict, trust in community goes down, community involvement goes down. But yeah, immigration.
How do you know it's ice?
Yeah. Wow. Wow, this is fucking intimidating. Oh my God. They're literally taking someone, they're trying to, oh my God. I'm serious. Seriously fucked up. Oh my God. Oh no, there are more people coming. Oh wow. No, they're lit. No, this just, I don't know what the is going on. What? There are people getting in front of the cars. Oh my God, they're running over the people in the cars. I do. Yeah, and the problem is they're trying to do it downtown on a crowded street. Oh wow. No, someone's gonna get hurt. There are at least 20 people in front of the car. Someone's gonna get run over. Wow, someone's hanging off the car. Oh my God. Oh God!
Holy
Oh my God! Holy fucking shit! No man, this is just, and the cops are there.
I think the cops are the ones doing it, aren't they?
Oh my God! I'll send it to you. Holy fucking shit! Frightening times, right? What the have we gotten ourselves into? I don't think anybody voted for people running around with I mean, so this is just
going on over there.
Oh no, it's not going to stop.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
Today, Florida lawmakers and some members of Congress toured a controversial new immigration detention center in Florida amid humanitarian concerns over the site. The Trump administration has dubbed the facility Alligator Alcatraz, since it's located deep in the marshy wetlands of the Everglades, surrounded by dangerous wildlife. CNN's Rafael Romo is joining us right now. What more can you tell us about the tour? Did it happen? Are they getting access? And then what are they seeing?
Well, they get in. That much we know, and they're slowly coming out and making their statements. But this is something that happened because after being denied access to the immigrant detention facility, several Florida state lawmakers sued Governor Ron DeSantis and his director of the Florida Department of Emergency Management, Kevin Guthrie, who runs the site. In the lawsuit, the legislators say they have the legal right to have unannounced access to all the facilities recently built at the Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport, dubbed the Alligator Alcatraz Detention Center, adding that both DeSantis and Guthrie, quote, have exercised the governor's emergency powers beyond their authority. The Florida Division of Emergency Management agreed to host a tour of the facility today between 11 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, but only for Florida state legislators and members of Congress. Lawmakers like Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, a Democrat, say they have heard from relatives of those detained, as well as immigrant rights groups, that the detainees are enduring things like bugs in their food, an infestation of mosquitoes, sleeping with the lights on, and not getting access to an attorney. This is what Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz had to say before trying to get access to the site earlier today.
The conditions that we saw inside this internment camp, which it is nothing less than that description, were really appalling. These detainees are living in cages. The pictures that you've seen don't do it justice. They are essentially packed into cages, wall-to-wall humans, 32 detainees per cage.
Again, this happening just a few moments ago after all of these lawmakers came out. Then earlier this week, Fred, I spoke with a Guatemalan woman whose husband is detained at Alligator Alcatraz. Among other things, she told me her husband is enduring mosquitoes, unbearable heat and humidity, insufficient washing facilities, hard beds, and bad food. She also told me her husband was only able to take one shower in a 6-day period and that he has not had access to an attorney so far. On Thursday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said people need to remember, he said, that Alligator Alcatraz is not a hotel. Let's take a listen.
It is a center to process illegal aliens and then to provide a pad to deport them from the runway that's right there. We did not create the Four Seasons. That's not the intent. We did not create the Four Seasons. That's not the intent of this.
Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. And what will ye do in the day of visitation and in the desolation which shall come from far? To whom will ye flee for help? And where will ye leave your glory?
I told you that Saddam had chemical weapons, that Gaddafi was a madman, that Assad gassed his people. Now they're telling you that Iran is nuking up. Well, they didn't tell you that Saddam was dumping the dollar, that Gaddafi dreamt of a gold-backed Pan-African dinner, that Assad switched to budgeting in euros, and that Iran?
We've got Hezbollah being funded by Iran. Correct.
Correct.
We have Hamas being funded by Iran. Correct.
Correct.
We have the Houthis being funded by Iran.
Correct.
Correct. We've got all the militias in Iraq. And we now have dead Americans because of the money being going back to Iran. Correct. All roads go back to Iran.
Well, not quite. All roads lead through Iran. Since ancient times, Persia has been a nexus of transport and trade. Slaves and spices, jewels and jade, gunpowder and gold. The Silk Road was a bridge between East and West. And Iran was the gateway. As then, so now. And just as there were bandits in the 1st century, there are bandits in the 21st century too. But instead of swords, they wield sanctions. And that has been the catalyst for Iran's renaissance, for its morphing into a linchpin of the new world order. And one of its pillars, the international north-south transport corridor, over 7,000 kilometers long. Ship, road, rail, the Indian Ocean linking to the Persian Gulf, the Caspian Sea, Russia, and onto Western Europe. Eurasia is embarking on a whole new voyage, and world trade is being remapped.
As soon as this project is implemented, then accordingly, we will have a route and the possibility of deliveries both in transit to Europe and deliveries from Russia to the Persian Gulf. In fact, this is a global change in transport and logistics routes, and this project may become an alternative to the Suez Canal.
40% shorter and 30% cheaper than that man-made waterway through which more than $1 trillion in goods transit annually. And the first stop, the port at Bandar Abbas. Then the train north to Bafq, then on to Tehran, and then anywhere. And you know what you won't spot on the way? A NATO patrol boat, a US aircraft carrier, an RAF spy plane. This route lies beyond Western control, geographical and financial.
When finished, the new link is expected to be completed in 2028. The resulting north-south transport corridor will stretch unbroken for more than 4,300 miles, out of reach of Western sanctions.
It charts a course away from those waters dominated by the transatlantic alliance. It allows for settlement in national currencies. It strengthens the Russia-Iran-India triangle. It further integrates the 5 Caspian states. It gives Moscow a greater foothold in both the Persian Gulf and the Indian Ocean. And it marks a new era. For so long, Russia looked west, traded west, bet on the West.
Six of the 10 fastest growing economies are in sub-Saharan Africa, countries rich in mineral wealth. Coltan for our computers, cobalt for our batteries, phosphates for our agriculture, nuclear ore for our power. These are the things, gentlemen, that the wars of the next 20, 30 years will be fought over. A huge deposit of cobalt was discovered in Mali just over 2 years ago. Back then, we approached the Malian government about mining rights. They told us that those rights were going to the Chinese. So we set about to create the conditions to make sure that wouldn't happen. Just last week, one of our Australian subsidiaries, thank you, Lachlan, secured those rights. Our pilot project in Mali hit a few bumps, but I'm delighted to report that it worked. And if it can work there, there's no reason it can't work in other mineral-rich countries across Africa. We create the chaos, and then we move in and capitalize on that chaos. We're looking at the long term here, gentlemen. Rates of return that'll make Iraq and Afghanistan look like chicken feed.
Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God.